Should be live. Are we live? I don't freaking know. I gotta get to the dumb dashboard that's buried in here. Control panel. All right, we're live. Whether or not there's a stream going out, I don't know. Yay! Music. Welcome, folks. Welcome for the first stream in a month. Yay! We are here. Josh Edlin, thank you. It's every time I read your name, I think Josh Hedlin because I knew somebody named that. Josh Edlin, thank you for joining up as a channel member. I appreciate it. Depending on how long a stream goes, I'm thinking 2 hours, but we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out together. I have no idea. So welcome in, folks. I want to check the second camera angle real quick. I don't know if it is working. It is not currently. Let me check it. Okay. I'm gonna jump on OBSBot software. It's plugged in, it's powered on, but I don't think the USB cable is connecting. Check if I can get power to it. Get it to connect. It's tail air with a wired connection. All right, let's check now. I can move the camera. Still no image. Why no image? All right, don't know. The OBSBot is not connecting at the moment for whatever reason. So today's stream, for anybody who is not familiar, what we are doing, we're gonna be messing with this chunky beast right here. This is an XP power supply. Thing's a beast. Let me grab a Meanwell 200 real quick. Yeah, here's this typical Voron power supply, an LRS 200. So a 24 volt, 200 watt, your typical power supply for a Voron. This is the unit we're going to be putting in here. The Flex Power from, is it XP is the company, SFXP? I don't really 100% know what the company's name is. But if anybody's not familiar, the point of this power supply is it is a multi-module power supply. So it's configurable with different, these are like server blades almost in here. And each one is a different power output. So actually this particular unit that I have here can output 48 volts, 24 volts. It actually has two 24 volt stages, 120 watts each on the 24 volts, 400 watts on the 48 volts. And then a 5 volt and a 12 volt combo output down here. So I can supply everything from 48 volts down to 5 volts with this one power supply. So that's what we're going to be putting in my Voron 2.4. Kind of random decision. I don't know. The cool kid points one out, and so we're doing it. It's going to give me the opportunity to do a few things. It is overkill as hell. Very overkill. Overkill on power possibilities, like demand. Yeah, so quite overkill. And I'm not mad about that. Yeah, so what's everybody been up to? It's been quite some time since the last time I had a chance to stream. So, also, a note for everybody. In case anybody isn't aware, let me grab it out of the description real quick, the link, and I will pin it in chat because it's a steal. Pinning it in chat. The power supply we are using, this 48 volt, 12 volt, 24 volt, 5 volt unit, is $29 used. You are buying used high quality hardware. So who knows how many hours they have on them, but $29 free shipping. I bought 3 of these. I actually bought 3 of them. I bought 3 of them for less than 80 bucks. Or yeah, less than $90. Less than $90, I got 3 of them. So I'm putting one in my 2.4 that we were working on. One's gonna go in the heated chamber Trident whenever I get to that build. And one is a spare. Unfortunately, it's not gonna work it's not going to work in my Trident build, so. Does it use DIN mounts? I'm going to be DIN mounting it. DIN mounts are right here. I question, because this thing, let me grab a scale. This thing's heavy. I kind of question hanging it on DIN rail, but we're going to find out together. I somewhat question hanging it on DIN rail. Okay, this thing weighs 2.25 kilograms. 2.25 kilograms. Yeah. That's a lot of IPA, yeah. I buy IPA by the gallons because it is so much cheaper that way. Ugh, this is in the back of my truck and now it's my bench is messy. Yeah, I buy IPA this way because it is significantly cheaper to do so. In fact, reminding me I need to fill up my IPA bottle. I buy like a 4-pack of these off Amazon, because, you know, can you mount it to an extrusion? I mean, you could make it. It's got a bunch of mounting option, like, points. So, I think, Josh, you made a mount for putting it on a Pandora frame, right? So there are 4 M4 bosses here. That's what we're going to be used to mounting it. Going to be using to mount it is those 4 M4 bosses. So 120 volt or 110 volt comes in one end. There's a fan that goes here that I removed. 110 volt comes in this end, and your power outputs come out the other end. So, but it uses a 60 millimeter fan. That is, this one is 0.3 amp, 12 volt. I will not need taller skirts. I will not need taller skirts. I mocked it up in CAD anyway with a dummy model. Plug it into the stock fan. We're going to plug it into the stock fan just so folks can hear. Because this is like a server fan, effectively. It's a 60 millimeter, and I've got a couple of much quieter 60 millimeters here. But yeah. Also to note, I don't know if you can see it, but like there's dirt hanging off of this thing. Like, this is used. It is used hardware. So you're getting what you're getting when you buy used hardware. This thing is so dusty, dirty right now, and I don't have a compressor running right now to blow it out. So we'll figure that out. But we're going to be replacing the fan. So what we're going to be doing in the stream is replacing the fan in this, making 1 or 2 wiring changes on this, because it actually has another thing it has. Andrew Rogers coming in with the More Power Fund. Thank you very much. I appreciate the super chat. E-waste for recycling. There are ports here. We'll get more into this as we go, but there are ports here because this actually has like built-in voltage regulators. So if anybody's familiar with the way like a GM alternator works, that's the way I can think about it when I finally figured all the wiring out on this, is it has sense wires. So you can actually run the sense wire to where your load is. So for us, it'll be MCU. I'll run to the MCU, and then this will output voltage to compensate for the voltage drop in the wiring getting to the MCU. You still need to appropriately size your wires, but that means that instead of just regulating how much, just like at the terminal, you've got 48 volts. If you had, this is extreme, but if you had a 1 volt voltage drop across your wires, you could actually run a sense wire and then it would put out 49 volts to compensate for that. So by the time your load device gets the power, you're getting the proper feed voltage to that device. I'm planning to do a full video on this on the Mandic Labs channel. I will be doing a video where I will actually take some more time to think out what I'm saying versus a live stream, which reminds me, I want to be recording this so I can use some clips of this in the video. Because what I'm going to do with this, I'm putting this in the 2.4. So I'm going to be putting this in my 2.4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the 2.4 at 24 volts at first. So I'm going to run my 2.4 at 24 volts, get just up and running again, and just run. I'm also going to then be able to ditch the dedicated power supply for the Raspberry Pi, because this will be able to power that too. as well as I'm putting in a USB hub that I need more USB connectivity. So I'm going to run it at 24 volts. I'm going to do a video where I discuss putting this power supply in the machine, and that I can do different things with it. And then I'm going to compare in the same video 24 volts versus 48 volts. So I'll just switch over to 48 volts to my motors and run and see how we go. And just like, I mean, it's not going to be a particularly scientific video. I don't have time for that. But like, just we'll compare some input shaper graphs or something just to see what kind of difference there is between running 24 volts and 48 volts. If like just, I think I've got 2004 motors in there, the like stock Voron 2.4 motors. So like, will running 48 volts on them make any difference at all? We're going to find out. So kind of where I just want to go with it. So trying to think what else is going on right now. I mean, it's been a lot since the last time I talked to you folks. Mostly just been working on the studio for Ruby. How was everybody doing? I should probably put a shout out a live notification. Duh. Shout out a live notification, Alan. And do it on threads as well. All right, live notification. Have you used the superpower motors yet? I've set mine up at 48 volts. The low speeds are noisy, near silent at fast speeds. How are you liking the Core 1? Let me just catch up on messages here. Top chat? No, I want all chat live. Been trying to get my Mercury 1 build finished. Some reason having issues with XY steppers working. Is Python shelved for the time because of other priorities? Yes, Python is shelved for the moment, just due to other priorities. Okay, let's go in order. How am I liking the Core 1? So far, so good. I'm loving it. Has a few firmware quirks I've run into. Like the belt tension was a little off when I got it. I needed to adjust belt tension, and before I adjusted it, it would just home. Because it uses sensorless homing, it would home for like ages. It was really annoying. Not used to the wall being finished. Yeah, the wall's finally finished. I guess, has it been finished since the last time I streamed? Probably not. The wall's finished. It's got drywall and paint. I stopped painting right about there, but it's got paint. So I'm thinking I might just paint the garage door. I was planning to build a false wall in front of the garage door, but I think I might just paint it to match and like have it blend in a little bit. Core 1, yeah. It was having a weird homing issue where it would take like literally a minute to home. That was weird. That was perfect against the Prusa Orange, yeah. And right now I have an obsidian nozzle in that because I'm printing glow-in-the-dark ABS right now for a video that's coming out tomorrow on Mandic Really. 2 videos this week. Video coming out tomorrow. I'm printing glow-in-the-dark ABS on it right now, so I have an obsidian nozzle in there. And it keeps having an issue where it like fails cleaning the nozzle, which all it does is like peck the bed while warmed up to like clean the nozzle off. And some reason it keeps failing. And I have to like try it a couple times before it goes. I'm sure if it's a firmware issue. So I'm going to reach out to support. They know about the homing issue, that's for sure. Could do a mural on the garage. Yeah, somebody was talking about maybe doing a wrap. I've got a plan. I don't know. I've got a plan because I don't want to just like do things and not have a game plan about where I'm headed with stuff. So had the same issue with PETG. Okay, good to know. What was the next question? Python is shelved for the moment. I've just got too much on my plate. I need to catch up. The 2.4, I need to get back up and running. I want to get to the VZ bot. I'm really, really, really tempted to start the VZ bot build like Sunday, maybe on the Sunday stream. I just kind of want to blow through that. Ruby's out of town this week. She's in Philadelphia tattooing right now. So I want to use that time to to stream a little bit more and like try and get some projects caught up a little bit. Because if anybody's not familiar, for the last month, I've been in East Portland working on Blackthorn Tattoo, Ruby's new tattoo shop. So we are opening a tattoo shop here in Portland proper, and I've been building it for the last month. And I mean like 24-hour days. Like there were numerous days where I was there 24 hours straight. There, not just like awake, just getting it done. Because she's got appointments, so like it has to be done. Tomorrow's video actually will be about Blackthorn. It'll be about some printing that I'm doing for Blackthorn. So Ruby away equals party hardly. Yeah, hardly. Yeah, that's accurate. Work. It means work. It means free time to work. What's next? Mercury 1 build. Sorry to hear you're having trouble with yours. Have I used superpower motors yet? No, I haven't. My Trident build, which we will be getting back to soon, TM. The Trident build has superpower motors in it, 2804s, and I haven't powered it up yet. And I'm planning to run those on 48 volts. I've heard very mixed things about running those on 48 volts. I'm pretty sure the VZ bot runs superpower motors out of the box, all-wheel drive, quad motor drive, 2804s, I'm pretty sure. And that's going to be 48 volts as well, so I'll get a chance to play with it then. I know Steve builds on his Mercury 1, not Mercury 1, his VZ bot. He's converting to 24 volts and ditching it. Ditching 48 volts. Didn't have a plan when I decided I was going to start this Wi-Fi 7 upgrade, the lead to all the new switches of wax, but yeah, that's the snowball effect of going to Wi-Fi 7 is like, well, I need this. Well, I need that. I need a switch that can keep up. I need this that can keep up. I might as well upgrade my internet, get the maximum capability. So I should hopefully, I'm waiting on Ubiquiti to send the hardware for Ruby's Studio Wi-Fi, and we're going to be doing a full upgrade on that. I'm planning to do a full 3D printed 10-inch rack, one of those mini racks. And I'm probably going to design my own printable, like fully printable 10-inch rack. And yeah, all right, let me fill this alcohol and we can get to work. Nori's here, hiding away. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a Nori cam going before stream, so you'll just have to take my word for it. I'll pick her up in a second. She can come say hi. Get her up here in a second. Nori Noodle, you want to come say hi to stream? You want to come say hi? Also got in Micro Swiss sent over their bamboo Flowtech hot end. That's going to be part of my testing on bamboo hot end comparison. And I printed the A4T housing. If anybody has seen the main channel, Man McReilly, I did the video on the X400. The Airy 1 X400, I'm going to be converting it to a A4T toolhead because I want to. Yeah, so. Because not that there's anything wrong with the existing setup. I just want rep wrap nozzles. I want a little more flow out of it. And I want my extruder of my choice. So I'm just picky. Noodle, want to come say hi? Come say hi to the stream. Come say hi. Hi, everybody. Say hi. Everybody's over here. Hi. Stupid. Stupid. Nori the Noodle. Is that the latest one? I think it's the latest one. Fairly sure it's the latest one. I haven't downloaded the files in a few weeks. I don't see any notches for the fans. I could be wrong. Don't know. Don't know. But, oh, hi, baby girl. You sleepy? All right, let's go back. I got to get to work. Ugh. I don't remember when I downloaded the files for that. I think I checked and they hadn't been updated since the last time I downloaded them, so. A4T toolhead. Yeah, they were last updated 3 weeks ago. which would have been, you know what? I might not have the latest one. I think the files I have are from January. I think the ones I have are from... Okay, here's a question for you. I know I asked this before. I know I've asked this before on stream, and I don't think anybody knew. And maybe it's just the folks at Armchair messing with me. What is the tea kettle hot end? This housing is for the tea kettle hot end, which looks like a dragon bolt pattern. Is that meant to be the dragon with the extension, flow rate extender on it? Are they calling it a tea kettle? The README doesn't say what it is. I searched on Discord. No answer on Discord. The only thing I found on Discord when I searched last was somebody asking, what's the tea kettle hot end? And nobody answered. I feel like it's an inside joke and I just don't know. And I posted a live notice, just double checking, make sure it went through. Yeah. All right. All right. So, first things first. Steve, welcome in. Hello, Steve, a member for 9 months now. Welcome in. Thank you for being a channel member, Steve. Have you played with any of these yet, Steve? The XP, the multi-output voltage or multi-voltage output power supplies. So that's what we're playing with today. Link in the chat. That is an affiliate link. If you choose to use it, I would not be upset because eBay's affiliate payouts are usually decent. So, and I would probably say if you're interested in grabbing one, grab one sooner rather than later, because every time I link to things like this, the price goes through the roof. So that's the joy of this stuff. Yeah, this thing is a brick. We weighed it earlier, Steve. It's 2.2 kilograms, so about 5 pounds. Maybe something to do with the Fadus Tai Chi. The Fadus Tai Chi is a Mark IV or Mark 8 style mounting. It uses the screws mounting through the front, like for a Ender 3 or a CR10. I have one somewhere, but yeah, that's how maybe I don't. I might have tossed it. I had such terrible luck with the Tai Chi that I might have actually just thrown it out. Okay, so we need to get to work on this thing and wiring it up a little bit. Let me blow it out a little. It is very used, as I said. These come used, so. Do they make ones the smaller ones? I believe smaller ones exist. I think this one has just become popular because there's a ton of them in surplus. So they are $29 for what's effectively a 700 watt power supply, I think it is. This is the X7. I think it's a 700 watt power supply altogether. Way overkill. Be good for a test station. Oh yeah, absolutely. There's, let me pull up the website. I know there's a 500 watt version, the X5. I know there's a 500 watt one. It basically, there are different modules, so you can get different modules that will swap out of here for the different voltages, and you can kind of configure these how you want. That said, I'm sure they're not cheap if you were to actually just go buy one. Let me just search real quick. -3W1P 1P5Z XO. Yeah, there we go. I want to see if I can find like a legit full price. Holy fuck. That's got to be. No, that's one. Somebody's got one listed for $2,000. First X5 result is $300. Yeah. And that's pretty much what it comes down to, is people keep going with this one just because there's some reason there's a surplus of them out there. And so, It's mostly the armchair engineering folks who I think have driven this. Believe it or not, those mad lads. Wait, so you're putting this on the 2.4? Yes, we're putting this in my 2.4. Trying to get VZ bot accelerations? No, we're never going to get VZ bot accelerations out of it, but why not? It's pretty much comes down to. As much as anything, I really want to do it because I want to eliminate the 5-volt power supply and I want to test 48 volt versus 24 volt. And this allows me to do that without having to package a second power supply. So I don't have any, what are they? RS? What are the ones that are smaller? I have some in my Trident. I forget which ones they are. It might be the RS 200s? No. Whatever. The smaller 200 ones. Jake Jake, welcome in. And thank you very much for the super chat. Why not use a buck converter? Why? One UHP. Thank you. UHP is what I was thinking of. The UHP 200. Buck converters are known to not be particularly clean power supplies for Raspberry Pis and not necessarily reach the necessary power draw limits because I'm going to be running a USB hub as well. I need more USB connectivity in my Voron, so this needs 5-volt power as well. So versus 2 buck converters to run those, or I just install this thing and I've got everything I want and I can run 48 volts to my motors. So, and why not is another reason. I plan to make a video about this, so there's the why not factor. All right, I'm gonna pop all of the terminals that are, this came with like, they literally just cut the wires off whatever application this was in. Like these are a bunch of terminals still on here, so let's pop those off of there. Those look like the motors that my work got rid of. Yeah, I'm sure somebody's work got rid of a ton of these. And yeah, I had to replace the buck converter that says 50 watts in the switch wire because I kept having issues. Yep. Yeah, so I'm just going to get all these terminals off of here quick. And then we'll get this, get the the DIN mounts on this and we'll get it installed in the machine. Let's bring this up a little bit. I wish I could get the OBSBot working. I might in a second see if I can't do that because I'd like to get a closer shot and the OBSBot will be probably a pretty good option for that. For some reason my USB hub mounted to my workbench isn't working lately. Just keep the smoke in the wires. Yeah, I tried to do as much pre-research as I could before stream to ensure I would keep the smoke in the machine. We shall see if I did enough. We shall see if I did enough. I don't know if you folks can tell, but there's a bus bar going all the way across from 48 volts all the way down to 5 volts. And that's actually shared ground bar. So all of your modules share ground, which DC current is, or a DC, power supply is a thing that can work out just fine. I mean, we can technically, I've often wondered why some folks, I think it's a noise issue, but it's arguable we could ground to chassis on printers. I worry about doing that with motors and switches and sensors, but I've often wondered how that would work out. Versus home running grounds on everything. One of those grounds doesn't share. One of them doesn't share. Yeah, it's 12 volt. So 5 volts the top, 12 volts the bottom. I believe. Pretty sure. Yeah. So yes, it doesn't share. Wouldn't do DC to chassis if running an AC bed. Okay, that's a fair point. You don't want to be crossing up AC DC and burning out power supplies while popping a breaker. That's a fair point. All right. That's all off of there. Anodizing is non-conductive, so getting a true ground on a whole frame is hard to do. Yeah, I usually clear a patch off when I run a ground. I personally clear a little patch off. All right, I'm going to see real quick if I can't switch out the USB cable on the OBSBot and get it working. Hey, we got another done print behind me. Let's try this cable. Let's try this cable real quick. All right. Power up. Why are you not powering on? There you are. Let me check the OBSBot software. Is it detecting? Connect. Tail air. Wired connection. Connected. Lens communication failed. Now it's good. All right, I can manually control it. Good evening, welcome in. Just want to try and get this camera angle working so I can have a closer shot for the electronics box when we get in here. All right, I'm going to try the tail air real quick. Still not working. Deactivate, activate. Why is this just not working? I can't get an image out of it. There's a software update. Let it update. Anyway, let's move on with the with what we were doing. Got to replace the fan because the fan is a super loud, annoyingly loud one. We will power it up with the old fan. I'll probably power up one of the other ones before I remove the fan from them and see how loud it is. But I'm swapping in a much quieter fan. It's got push pins. Well, push pins I have to cut off. So I got to find some case fan screws to get these replaced. Either that or do some heat press insert M3s. These things are shooting across the studio as I do this. I'll find those in 6 months. Okay. Pushed out, pushed out. Pushed out. All right, fan is out. And here's a new fan I'm going to be installing. This is a 3-wire fan. I'm just not going to use the RPM wire. So I'm just going to snip that close to the motor. I don't need it. Power ground. I don't care if it spins full speed all the time. I just need a fan. This is so filthy. I'm going to grab a paper towel and some alcohol, wipe it off real quick. Joy of buying used e-waste hardware. It's also the ever-present, no guarantee it's going to work right. One would hope, one would expect, one does not know for sure. All right, put it this way. So I got a little extra wire length. Oh no, I want to go this way. How are the innards? It's dusty, but not as bad as the fan itself. So they might have blown it out previously. I would like to blow it out. I just don't have a compressor running right now. So I got rid of my compressor before I moved, and I haven't picked up a new one. So unfortunately, at the moment, I am not closing Chrome. Why would I need to close Chrome? No, that's not happening. I'm trying to update the OBSBot software, and it wants to close Chrome for some reason. I am not doing that. Hi, where are you going? I get an image preview out of this thing. Let me try. I really want to get this camera working. Properties. Switch it. ObSpot virtual. Okay, there we go. Don't know why that worked. Transform. Fit to screen. Hi, folks. That worked for whatever reason. Okay. Great. That's all I wanted. Just trying to get another option here for a view. There's a closer look at the output of this thing. If it works, it works. Yep. Zoom in a little bit. Great. A little overexposed, but at least you folks can see what's going on. So, as I was saying, different modules. Each of these is a different module for different power supply outputs. These can be changed out. I'm sure they're probably, each one of these modules probably cost more than this entire unit cost me. So this one at the end is 48 volts. This one is 12 volts. This one is also, no, sorry, this one is 24 volts. This one is also 24 volts. And this one is a combo 5 volt. So these top two are 5 volts and the bottom two are 12 volts. I'm only going to be using 5, 24, and 48. So different units on eBay have different module configurations. Yes, so watch out for that. There's not a guarantee that you're going to get. It could be a unit that only has 48 volts in it or something. So you do want to watch out for that. The one I have linked in the description currently is the one that I bought. I bought 3 of. So yeah, and then these connections here, each of these is like control circuits, regulation circuits. So it's going to be really hard to explain in stream, so I might not get too deep into this, but I will in the video that I am intending to do about these things. So look out for that soon. Okay. See if I can adjust that image real quick because that's overexposed. Not really. Auto exposure. That's better. Let's leave it there. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Okay. Okay. All right, now I need some way to attach this fan to here. The holes don't look big enough for fan screws. I don't know if I have any handy either. Ugh. I have a whole thing of fan screws around here. I just don't know where it is. Let me double check real quick. Be right back. I think it's over here. Yep, there it is. PC screws. So this is like hard drives, SSDs, fans, all within this box. And I need fan screws. Let's see if these will fit. I don't know if these holes are big enough. They're just big enough. Just big enough for power supply or fan screws. So, case fan screws. Is that a Prusa bed mouse pad? Yes, it is. There's a Prusa mouse pad shaped like a Prusa bed. Which reminds me, I have a print on the Core 1 to get off the bed. A little bit of purge stuck here. Get it off. And reprint. Print again. This video is coming out tomorrow. So my night is going to be working on this video. What's printing on the XL? The XL is currently printing its first ASA print ever. I just got the enclosure on the XL. It's currently printing mounts for nozzle wipers for itself. I'm putting some brass brush like wire brush nozzle wipers on it, so that every time a tool head is picked up and or parked, it will be wiped by a brass brush. One of the only problems I have with that machine is like just the ever little wisps of filament getting dragged between multicolor prints, and I want to try those to see if they'll reduce it. So was wondering how the reprint went. I finally got the settings dialed in. They're looking good now. Still not 100% perfect, but way better. I've got it enough where I'm confident to just keep sending it to print now. So, okay. All right. 2 more fan screws. Make sure this is well screwed in. Somewhere here, I also have... So the fan uses typical fan wiring, not JST connection like we are so used to on printers. It uses a 3-pin, I think it's a 3-pin fan connector. Yeah, it uses a 3-pin fan connector, of which, are they light housings? Yeah, they're basically light housings. They're lampshades. They're lampshades for Ruby's Studio, is pretty much what they are. What I'm going to do is just cut this off and solder it. I know I have these fan connections here somewhere. Let me get a close up here. So I know I have some of these somewhere here. I have a whole fan connector kit, but I wonder if you can connect both of the 24-volt rails to get 10 amps. Yes, you can, and I will be doing that. You have to use the connections, these. So these connectors here regulate output. You have to connect a wire between this one and this one so that you can bridge these two together. But once you do, you can then run a cable from here to here, and the 24 volts will share current and become a 10 amp circuit. Yes, and I will be doing that on this. So yes, that is a acceptable or whatever, an expected use case. Where is my... I'll throw on gloves quick. Yeah, because one of the units is 120. So they're each 120 watts on 24 volts. But if you put them together, you get a 240 amp or 240 watt output. I'm sure there's some loss there. I would probably consider it like a 200 watt to be safe. But that's still more than we need if you're running 48 volts. That's pretty much the thing about this is these things are massively overkill for our needs. Unless you're running like, I don't know, some type of, I don't even know what configuration you'd be running that would need significantly more power. Full 700 watts, you know, maybe running a chamber heater. You wouldn't have enough for a 24 volt chamber heater off of this, but then just run a wall voltage chamber heater. This heat shrink is stuck to this wire. I just want to strip this wire back, or strip this off this wire so I can pigtail it to my fan. Or you just want flexibility with voltage is cheap. I mean, honestly, that's, like I said, anybody who missed what I was saying earlier, that's why I'm doing this, is for the flexibility. I'm going to run it at 24 volts right off the bat. I'm going to run it at 24 volts right now and just stick with that for the second. And then probably very soon, but then I'm going to go to 48 volts. 240 watts if you connect both 24 volt rails, and 8.5 amps on 48 volts would be good for an all-wheel drive setup. Absolutely. This would be great in a VZ bot or I'm going to be putting this in my Trident build. I've got another one. I'll be putting in my next Trident build, not my current one, my next Trident build, which I intend to do quad motor drive at 48 volts on. So yeah, it'll be great for that. Strip these wires. I'm gonna cut these back a bit on the fan. Way longer than I need. Grab some heat shrink. Do VZ bots use multiple PSUs? Yes, VZ bots use 2 power supplies, one 48 volt, one 24 volt. They're on each side of the electronics enclosure. The sides of the electronics enclosure are the power supplies. I will be starting my VZ235 build soon, TM. Hopefully very soon, but error. Wow, whatever. Link is in the description. Well, it's pinned in chat if you want to check them out. That is an affiliate link. I do get a kickback for you using it, but link is there. Whatever. Yes, so I will be starting a VZ bot build soon, and yes, they use 2 power supplies. All right, little heat shrink. Oh, I don't know where my heat shrink gun. I left my heat gun at the studio, Ruby Studio. I think. It might be over there. Bone stock and fig. Yes. The VZ bot, I'm going to be running bone stock initially. The only thing I'm going to be changing from bone stock on the VZ bot is beacon. There is no probe stock on a VZ bot. You just level the bed. So I'm going to be putting a beacon on it. It's the only change I'm making to the VZ bot right off the bat. Everything else is staying as it ships. At least initially. At least initially. All right. Soldering iron. At the end of the year, I'm going to buy a 250 Trident kit. Still deciding if I'm going to go LDO or Formbot. That's up to you. I think LDO kits are higher quality, but I haven't built a Formbot to say for sure. You can't leave anything stock. You are correct. And I won't for long. But I just want to build it. Since I've never built a VZ bot, I want to build it as they intend to start. I'm quite certain that will not last long. I know I've already made some changes to it. Hard to explain. I've made some minor tweaks and changes to the print files anyway, because I can't leave those alone. I tweaked almost every. I actually tweaked almost every print file, but that's beside the point. All right. Stock is for consumers, not hobbyists. Yeah, and it's not exactly like a VZ bot is anything but a hobbyist machine. So, you know, whatever. Boop. Where are we at here? Get you folks viewing what I'm working on. Okay. Again, I'm doing this because the stock fan is loud. We will listen to a stock fan in a little bit, but this is a much quieter fan that I got off of DigiKey. And also, I don't know if I've mentioned it. The Armchair Engineering folks have a bunch The Armchair Engineering folks have a bunch of resource information about running this power supply on their Discord, and I will link to it. I know it's not in the description right now, but I will link to it. I'll add it to the description by the end of stream. All right. Wire soldered. Wires soldered. Heat shrink them. I'm just going to use a lighter. This is what I got on hand to heat shrink with. Okay, when in doubt, fire. Yep. When in doubt, fire. All right, that's fixed, or that's wired. I can put this back on. There's a fan connector on this side. I'm gonna plug that into. Make sure the wire's not in my way. And not gonna get pinched in here, because it's a little longer than the stock one was. All right, cool. And then there's 2 Phillips screws on the end of here, countersunk Phillips screws. The Pyro Nomad special. No Nomad at the moment. Maybe he's stuck at work. Looking at the product sheet, yes, you connect pin 2 on each, on both, and pin 2. I forget exactly which pins, but yes, I think it's pin 4. No, I think it's pin 9. Are you planning on water cooling the VZ-Bot? Not initially, but I will be eventually. So I'm going to build it air cooled, I'm building it exactly as the Mellow kit comes, only addition being Beacon. And then I'll mod it. And when I mod it, I will be water cooling it. Yes. I'm doing an LED project in my garage. These power supplies will be perfect, especially at that price. Awesome. I meant he set his hand on fire the other day. Good job, Nomad. Whoops. Okay. Our fan is swapped out for a new one. Should be much quieter. I will say, I would expect, I don't know for sure, but I would expect that if you're running full 700 watts on this thing, pulling full power it can supply, you probably need the amount of air that this fan did blow. I'm not going to be pulling anywhere near that. So I don't feel bad about putting a lower CFM fan in, or lower static pressure fan. So, okay, I need some M4 screws for these DIN rail mounts. They're these slim, low-profile DIN rail mounts. The fairly low-profile ones. Make sure they're matching direction, and then I just need some M4 screws, which... $1 million question. Where's all my M4 hardware? I got a whole box of hardware here. Somewhere. Here we go. M4. Those are long M4s. I need short M4s. Your M5. Rub screws. M4. Cool. Button head M4s. Button head M4. He did it deliberately. I'm going to have a talk with Nomad about setting himself on fire. I'm sad that I missed Pooch Fest this week, because it seems like there was fire involved there as well. All right. Is that long enough? Yes. So it looks like M4 by 12 screws. Lots of fire and sparks. Yeah, I'm sorry I missed that, Steve. I really wanted to come hang out. But since Ruby went out of town, I had to stay home and watch the kids. I have to stay home and watch the kiddos. Just happened to fall on the wrong day. Did you get Steve? Did you get Joel's 2.4 sorted out? You and Taco? Well, that doesn't line up very nicely. I did not design these DIN rail mounts in there. Not perfect. The hole spacing's a little off. It'll work, but it's not quite right. You did. It has a bottom panel now. Awesome. Skirts and a bottom panel. What a magical idea. Yeah, these DIN rail mounts could use a tweak. I think I might have to update the design just a hair. It's like 0.5 millimeter to 1 millimeter off. Hole spacing. That happens. That happens. Have to head out. All right, Steve. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Thanks for sorting out his 2.4 as well. I don't have to make a trip up to do it. Tighten these down. I put a little Loctite on them because these are going to be inaccessible after mounting. So I want to get them sorted now. While they're on the bench. Oh, I was hearing a noise. It's the Core 1 homing, or leveling. It's like, what's that noise? The Core 1. Just the Core 1 leveling. Color change on the XL. All right. We got our DIN rail mounts on. DIN rail mounts are on. Quieter fan is installed. Time to get the 2.4 up here so we can get the old power supply out and the new one in. Or you know what? Might change one thing first. Or mess with one thing. I've got some lengths of power cable here. I think I might do that first. How much wider is it than stock? Good question. Let's look. Looks like about 10 millimeters. Stock, meanwhile, is 115-ish, like 115 millimeters. This is 127 millimeters, it looks like. So it's 127 millimeters, including the terminals, it's about 270 millimeters long, whereas the mean well is 216-ish. So, and quite a bit fatter. The mean well is 30 millimeters tall. This thing is 65 millimeters tall. That's the DIN rail mounts that I have are low profile, and I don't know that it would work. Put it on stilts. I don't know that it would work with tall DIN rail mounts. I think it needs the low profile ones. I mocked it up in CAD. I pulled it into the Voron 2.4 CAD file and checked. It should fit with my stock bottom panel. So, according to the CAD anyway, which is not always relative to reality, but we shall find out. All right, I'm going to strip off the end of this so I can wire it onto here. I'm going to use this for the power connection here. So it's a 3-wire cable inside of the outer sleeving. So I need neutral. Wait, I got that backwards. Live, neutral, ground, or live, ground, neutral. All right. Let me strip these wires back a little bit. Ooh, I don't have my bigger strippers here. I'll have to get creative. Hello, welcome in. I am on scheduled proper Thursday stream, yes. Hopefully from here on, for a while anyway, I will be back to proper scheduled streams. One should hope anyway. All right, I'm having to carefully strip this by hand because I don't know where my, well, no, I know where my regular strippers are. They are at Ruby's shop. The strippers that go to the proper size that I need, I mean. These ones are kind of working, just carefully work my way around it. These only start at 20 gauge. So they are, I think this is 14 gauge wire. Yes, Thursday is my supposed to be stream day. Missed it for a month now, unfortunately, but we are back now. Oh, nozzle cleaning failed. I was saying the firmware on the Core 1. I don't know what the deal is, but I just have to hit retry and let it go again. I got to bug Prussia about that. Let him know that I've had a problem. Hopefully it gets fixed in the next firmware update. I know there's one on the way. Love the cup. Thank you. The Gloop cup. All right, any terminals? All right. Oh, power supply's falling out of the bottom of this box. Like, why wouldn't it fit in the drawer? All right. I don't think I have the right size for this. I don't. Not in this kit. That's too big, yeah. It'll work. Okay, those will work. Where did Ruby set up shop? Her shop is in East Portland on 13th Ave, just off Stark. It is just off Stark. It's like Stark MLK. And will you be doing a video about Ruby's shop studio setup? Yes, tomorrow. Just G. I've got a video coming out tomorrow on Ruby's studio. So, yeah, Ruby calls the spot Vegan Row. There's like a couple of vegan spots right around the corner. And it used to be where what is it? Something Rabbit Grocery was, a vegan grocery shop. I don't know. But yeah, so 13th Ave, which I thought was kind of fitting. If you're going to open a tattoo shop, it should just be on 13th Avenue, right? It's like, that's like got to be a thing, I think. I'll watch the video before asking what kind of shop she has. Yeah, that's probably the easiest way to explain it. I will mention it in the video. Great spot. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been there like every day for a month, and on like even weekday nights, it's a pretty hopping spot. Gonna get some ink work done, I'm sure. She threatened when she gets home she's gonna tattoo me. We shall see. Should set up a booth at Rocky Mountain for Benji tattoos. Don't know how much she'd love that. Yes, my wife is a tattoo artist. Yes, she is. Don't know how much the insurance for Rocky Mountain would love that. All right, making sure I got these good and tight on here because this is my 110 volt power into this damn thing. Double check my crimps. American traditional benchy is actually a rad idea. It is, and now that benchy is back on the market, that's kind of a fun idea. Last time I checked, tattoos were expensive and I'm a royal cheapskate. You are not wrong. And I'll tell you right now, Ruby is definitely not a cheaper tattoo artist. Her rate is not on the cheaper end. Come on. Here's where I really wish I had my heat gun right now. Lighter is not the best for these terminals, it does seem. These are the heat shrinkable spade connector type things. Not that I really need that. It's not like this thing's going to be submerged in water. But I've got them, so why not use them? They'll help to hold the connection. Ruby has not done any of my tattoos. Ruby's actually never tattooed me. Funny enough. People love when I tell them that. Ruby has never tattooed me. I hate getting tattooed. Is part of what it comes down to. Like, I'm very over it. Yeah, I am very over getting tattooed. So since we've been together, I haven't been. And as such, she has not done any of mine. Must be in a future stream. Yeah, that could be a fun stream. Just hang out and chat with her. Maybe you folks could actually get a chance to talk to her. What's her specialty? Her specialty is botanicals and animals in a blackwork style, generally. Instagram. Loading. So, like dot work, black work, she specializes in covering scars. Like this is a scar cover up. So this person had scar tissue on their bicep she covered. This one's on somebody's leg. So the kind of like stippling dot work is a big part of her specialty. Flowers are a big specialty to her. Animals in general. I've never heard somebody with multiple tattoos say they're over it. There's her with Krampus at Christmas. I love this one. I love the squiggle bits, a little flying squirrel. We call the little flaps of skin on the sides the squiggle bits because they like fold up on themselves. Yeah. So that's a scar cover up as well. And she does bigger in color, but mostly dark work. Dark black work kind of stuff. There's us. I like this burb. Her borb. Sugar glider. Yeah, that might have been a sugar glider. You might be right. I like this borb. It's very borb. Very round. In a little beeb. A little round bee. So, yep. That's her primary style is that kind of stuff. She does other stuff, but that's like her bread and butter, like main stuff. Okay. One connection down. Ground on here. Yeah. I've been getting tattooed for more than half of my life at this point. You know, I'm 39 years old. I got my first tattoo when I was 18. So, more than half of my life, I have been getting tattoos. I'm over it. I want more tattoos, don't get me wrong. I want them. I don't want to sit for them anymore. They hurt. And the older I get, the more they hurt. I could deal with it when I was 18, 19, 20. Now that I'm almost 40, I don't sit so well. And it does not help that a lot of the places that I have left on my body to tattoo are particularly painful areas. So, yeah. That does not help matters. Okay. That's pre-wired. I just didn't want to have to do that in the printer because it's going to be hard to access when I get that installed. So let's get the printer up here. What time is it? Sorry to tell you this, but the older you get, more everything hurts. Oh, I'm well aware. I am unfortunately well aware, which is the like, I should just get over it and get stuff done now because it's only going to get worse from here. It's only going to get worse. Whatever. All right, let's grab a 2.4. Lower the bench a little bit, make it easier on myself. I don't hurt my back lifting it. Ah, this thing is heavy. Whew. 40s, your eyesight gets worse. Yeah, my eyesight has held up. I'm still 20/20, but I used to be like 20/40. So it has deteriorated ever so slightly. I'm gonna remove the bed. So I don't need that in there. I could have saved myself the weight of that when I just picked it up. Oh well. Oh well. All right. Okay. Ready to flip this thing over. Right before tuning in, I was staring at a flex power sitting in a 2.4 250 I'm building, trying to decide if it's too big or not. In a 250, I'm sure it is probably pretty sizable. It's the near sight that suffers, not the far. That is the thing. It is suffering on me already. Like, here is blurry. Right about there is blurry on me now. Like there I can see pretty well. There's blurry. So yeah, I'm quite sure I'm going to need reading glasses in the next year or two. I would bet. At least for like fine work, like this kind of stuff, when I need to get up close to it. All right. Turn this thing up. All right, all right, all right. One annoying thing about this, as I said, I'm going to run 24 volt power for right now. 3D print reading glasses, no. I'm going to run 24 volt power to my motors for the moment. Annoyingly, I need to change jumpers underneath of here to do that. I also need to change out drivers. I've got 2209s in here. I need 5160s for my AB motors, and that's just annoying. Because this cooling fan setup that I put on here, let me switch the ob spot. This cooling fan setup that I put on here, it blocks access, and it actually screws from underneath. You have to like remove the whole board mount off of here just to take this off. I can take the fan top off, and I think then I can get to the jumpers, but I don't think I can change the drivers by doing that. Well, let's see. It's worth a look. So I've got to swap out 2 of the 2209s for 5160s. I'm going to put this up just a little bit. Ugh. Can I? I'm going to have to pull them out by the... I would have to pull them out by the heat sinks, which is not ideal. Let me double check which ones are supposed to be... Which ones are supposed to be the ones. Octopus Pro wiring for a 2.4. A, B are the last two. A and B are the last two. I've also got to change to SPI connection. Okay. So you two, let's see if I can get this out of here. Hey, look at that. Came out. This one feels like it might be hitting the body of the fan shroud. Doesn't want to come up. God, this electronics box is a mess. I'm very, very tempted to strip all the wiring out of here and start over. So tempted. I'm gonna use a pair of pliers and grab this maybe. I really don't want to have to remove this whole frickin' thing just to change out these steppers and these motor wires. Yeah, come on. Yeah, it's just hitting the shroud. I'm gonna have to take this off. Could never do that with gloves. I'm so used to working with gloves on, I just don't even think about this stuff anymore. One of these ways, this will slide off. There we go. Okay. All right. I have to undo these wires anyway, because I've got to change out the... I'm going to change out the power wires anyway. I'm going to rewire the power circuits entirely. Okay. Those are out of the way. Now I can get to the screws that hold the fan mounts down. Happy Friday Eve evening. Welcome in, TJ Magneto. Welcome in. Are you familiar with WLED? Not really, Ditto. I've got a project I need to get to sometime soon with WLED. I got a whole bunch of WLED PCBs. I've got a bunch of them for some projects coming up here that I will be using in the near future and playing with it for the first time. But I am not currently familiar with it beyond its existence, and that I want to play with it. So I'm going to use it for some studio lighting stuff, I think. That's the goal, anyway. Okay. Shroud should be free. Yeah, cool. Shroud's off. Now I can remove this driver. All right, I need to switch these jumpers so I can get to these jumpers. Oh, yeah. The jumpers for UART and SPI. I need to put them to SPI connection. So I need more jumpers. I have a whole thing of jumpers here. Question is, where? There's a random 2209 floating around in here. I know I have a whole container of jumpers. Might be some in this packaging. I wonder if anyone has modded the Voron to a mother plate like a Pantheon. Not that I'm aware of. Have you found a benefit in using a SSD with Pi? Nothing in particular. I did it for the hope that it would last longer and not require, this has the tiny jumpers. I did it hoping that it would last longer than an SD card. Which I may never know, you know? Because, like, when would the SD card fail? Don't know. Are you pro or anti Wago? I am often pro Wago. I think that for some things, I think Wagos are too bulky. Like, a lot of people use Wagos in electronics boxes here to wire up their mains and everything. I think they're too bulky for that. I think they're just too bulky for that application. They can be okay if you're like terminaling 4 or 5 wires off of one, then it kind of justifies the space they take up. I have Wagos up on top. You can't see them right now. They're actually, you can just see the orange here. So I've got them here for my bed wires. And Ryan, I'm alive. Yes, been busy for a month. So my bed wires, I've got Wagos right here. And they'll go to here. I like them for that use case where I can use them as disconnects. I can easily have a good solid connection continually, but then I can quickly disconnect them to remove the bed from the machine and put it back in for servicing or whatever. So I really like them for that use. Not so sold on using them as like a whole junction setup. I use them when I'm wiring like outlets. Like every receptacle and light box and everything in this place has them in it. So there's that. I really like Wagos in general. I'm just not so sold on using them for everything on a printer. I need jumpers, and I know I have them somewhere. Are they down here? There's like a whole container of them, I think. somewhere here. Oh, here's a handful. Here's a handful. All right, I gotta check my... for electrical, do you use lever or push-in? Lever. 221s. Those are the, I believe those are the ones I use. Yes, 221s. No, 221s. 221s, huh? Yeah. For Romex, the version that just push in and don't have a lever are safer. Fair. I can see how there would be issue with the lever style ones. I use the lever style ones. I haven't had issue. I can definitely see how the push-in one would be safer. I have the Octopus Pro wiring PDF on here. I need to pull it up real quick so I can check. Look at instructions with me. Oh my god, go. Oh my god, I've got to log into Adobe for some reason. Ugh. Always, always, always with this crap. Because I used Adobe on my other computer like an hour ago. Okay. So done with Adobe. Yeah. I can understand that, but for my work, I can't be done with it. So is it T or 520? It is T. Oh my god, Adobe. I don't need a pop-up explaining how PDFs work, thank you. I just can't switch to Resolve. I've tried it multiple times. It just does not work for me. I'm just way too efficient in Premiere that I can't. I just can't. Tried and tried, and I'm so set in my ways with the way that Premiere works that that Resolve just doesn't work for me. Okay, step direction. SPI mode. Okay, SPI mode is all of the ports filled on the top. My wife just got a Blackmagic camera, so the full version of the Resolve. That's rad. I just never been able to bring myself to pay for the full version because the free version worked so badly for me. And this is totally my, like, how I work as a video editor. It just doesn't work for me. I'm picky, and I am so used to the way Premiere works that I just can't find myself switching. What about Phoenix connectors? Then if you rewire, you can just loosen the screws and remove the wire if you need. Unfamiliar with them. Okay. I'm unfamiliar with those. Okay. Put all of these on for SPI mode because I'm going to be putting 5160s in here so I can switch to 48 volts. Dope. God damn it. Corner of this jumper cracked. The corner of this jumper cracked off and it keeps popping out of my pliers. It's just the plastic housing. It's fine, but... Oh my god. Why? Get on the pins. Why are you not getting on there? Stupid. Stupid. Okay. Okay. Not that you can see a whole lot here, but it's worth a worth a switch of angle. All right, those are switched. Now where are my 5160s? Rad, the heat sinks are already on them. I didn't know that. 5160. 5160 stepper driver. I gotta switch the, while I can still see it, I'm gonna switch the motor connections. Yeah, I gotta switch these so that they will use the motor input, not the mainboard input. Motor input, not the mainboard input, is what I want. All right, bam. Okay. There's that. The next 5160. These are the 5160 Pros that can be run up to 60 volts. So now I've got 5160s for my A and B motor and 2209s on my Z motors. So, yeah. Cool. Right. Now I can put the fan housing shroud back on. There's a loud truck driving by. My house is at the bottom of a hill, and people like power up my hill, and it gets so annoyingly loud. All right. This fan shroud back on here. All right. Cool. Fan shroud is off of there. I put this fan back on. Fan housing back on. Do you use DSLR for all your cameras? Most. The angle you're looking at right now is the tail air, which is basically a webcam. But the rest of my camera angles are mirrorless cameras, not DSLRs. But you know, choose your language there. But basically DSLRs, yeah, sure. Okay. Now I gotta hook this side. Got the low profile DIN mounts on these two. Cool. And that's back on. Now I got the 5160s in there, and they are set to use the motor port now, which is what I needed, so I'll be able to switch the power supply to what I need, which means it's time to get the old power supply out. We're going to remove the mean well. It meant well, but it's got to go away. It meant well, but it's time for it to find a new home. I can also remove the 5-volt power supply. Which do you think is better to work on a 3D printer, LTT precision screwdriver or a normal one? I reach for the precision screwdriver 90% of the time. So there's that. Whether or not it's better or not, I don't really know, but it's what I use most. I like it. It's compact. It's easy. The length of the bits is really solid for a lot of screws on printers. You know, I like the little bit of extra length that their precision screwdriver has over something like an iFixit. And it's a very nice and smooth spinning. So I like the Fabrico drivers. Yeah, I meant to try those a million times, and I just never do. Okay, I'm going to redo probably all of my mains voltage wiring in here. So I'm just going to pop all of it out to clean, so I can have a clean slate to start from. I don't even know what this SSR is from. You'll need some PSUs for the W-LED projects. Yep, you are right. I've got some higher wattage 5-volt power supplies around. All right. We can get the 5-volt out of the way. Boop, boop, boop. Cool. Great. All right, all right. 5-volt power supply is out of there. Now it's time to remove the mean well. I'm just gonna totally... I want these wires out of my way, but I probably shouldn't remove them just yet. Okay. I'm not going to do too long a runs. Shouldn't be too long a runs, but we shall see. Okay. Get these power cables off of this. Oh, I guess these are ring terminals. Don't know why I did that, but... I don't know why I did that, but... I'm going to have a plethora of these 200-watt mean wells. So maybe I'll use these for some LED projects, because I'm going to have a bunch of them left over at this rate. All right. That's good. My USB board power's out of the way. Put these screws back in this. Tighten them down so they don't rattle out and disappear on me. And it's time to get this power supply out of here. There's one screw to remove and 2 DIN clips that I just got to unclip. One screw there. All right, let's see. Nope, wrong size, 2.5. I keep leaning on my keyboard. Come on. It's hard to get to this screw right now because it's kind of blocked by this fan shroud, the straight shot at it. Oh my god, come on. Yay! All right, that M4 screw is out. And I've got to wiggle off the clips, the DIN clips. All right. And all right. Meanwell is out. Might as well pull the mounts off of it. Actually, you know what? I can leave those on there because I'm going to be building another 2.4, and maybe I'll just throw this in the other 2.4. All right. Now we've got some space bought in here. This connection here, this mount. Probably can't see it on this tour. Welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, way too funky spot. Oh, I forgot this has a magnetic base on it. The ob spot. All right. I also need to get this fan out of the way. I forgot about that. Because the fan on the power supply is going to be right here. I'm going to remove this fan off of here. I don't want this fan blowing into the power supply. It's just going to make noise. So instead, I'm going to take this fan. I'm going to move it onto the other side of the electronics box for a little more cross-flow capability. So I forgot that I want to do that quick. Where's the connection for that fan? There it is. Get this wire out of here. What time is it? 6:45. Okay. All right. All right. I'm gonna have to stand this up so I can get the cables, the screws for the fan. I think they are Noctibos. Sufficient airflow. They're fine. I ran into some issue with driver cooling, so I needed direct stepper driver cooling. Yeah, for cooling the board and cooling the Pi and the stock power supply, they're fine. For cooling the main, like the stepper drivers, not enough. But I just put a pair of 40mm fans directly on the stepper drivers, and that works fine. So, you know, and it's quieter than some loud 60mm blowing through the entire electronics box. So. Okay, throw those boxes away for the 5160s. Don't need those anymore. I gotta stand this up real quick so I can get to those fan screws. Sorry, you folks can't really see what I'm doing at the second. I need a longer USB cable for the OBS bot. A longer USB cable for that thing. Making sure I'm removing the right one. The correct fan. I would install server fans and in the homes of all my enemies. Yeah, oh, well, that makes sense. You really gotta hate somebody to want to do that, so I get that. All right. Most fans, I hate loud fan noise. I just really hate listening to loud fans all day long. It drives me nuts. All right. I need to get one of these out of here. I think this one, yeah, this is the one I'm going to put a fan in. So this whole front edge of this is going to have power flow across, or fan airflow across it, which will be the Pi, the main board, the SSD. That's all going to have main board or a pair of fans moving air across it. Now, you would definitely hate the FL Sun S1. I actually got rid of the S1. I actually just got rid of the S1. I never unboxed it. I had it, never unboxed it, just sent it to a new home. I knew it was never going to be for me. I wanted to play with it. I just don't have time. So, I had to leave. I needed space. Needed space. Had to go. All right. This fan can go in here now. Let me chalk this up on some 1, 2, 3 blocks so I can get this fan in here. There's like no room next to the SSD. I'll take the SSD out of here maybe. Drop the SSD out so I can get the fan in. Then the SSD can go back in. There we go. These prints look like crap. Small wall mount server rack. That is one of my upcoming projects, is a small wall mount server rack. I intend to design a fully 3D printable one because I need it for Ruby's studio. So that is on my list. I've got that blowing in right now, which I do prefer positive pressure, but I don't want that. What adapter are you using to connect your SSD to the Pi? Just a random SATA to USB connection cable. Nothing special. Basic SATA to SSD, or well, 2.5 SATA connection to USB. And then you just have to reflash the switch the firmware on the, crap, now I need long screws. Dope, now I need long screws to get to those. Because the heat inserts are on the other side. Printing patch panels right now. I'm going to be doing printed patch panels too on that build. Sorry you can't see me right now. I'm grabbing screws under the bench. I don't want those. Match what's in the machine. All right, 30 millimeters, M3 by 30s. (10" or small 19". 10". The whole like new 10" craze is what I'm going to be going for. I think it's silly, but for Ruby Studio, it actually makes sense. Because we are limited. It's a very small space. It's like 400 square feet. So limited on space, and it actually kind of makes sense in there. Nice to see you back in the game. Thank you, Tor. I appreciate it. Got really busy. Video coming tomorrow with what I've been so busy on. And then I should be back to regularly scheduled programming from here on out. I got Ruby Studio to the point where like I can pick at stuff. I don't have to work non-stop over there. Are we gonna get a stream of her giving you a tattoo? Maybe. I don't know. Have to see if she's up for it. Video on vCore 4. I'm hoping to get to a video on the vCore 4 in the next 2 weeks. That is on my list of things to do. I actually printed some parts. I went to look, you were still subscribed last week. Yeah. I printed some parts for the vCore 4 this week, actually. So I printed a Nevermore Mini. The parts for a Nevermore Mini. That way. So filtration, because I'm going to put the enclosure on it. It's so hard to get this in where a camera can see it, but Nevermore Mini. Fan, charcoal filter, HEPA filter setup. So my goal is to do a video on vCore 4, finishing it up, putting the enclosure panels on it, putting the Nevermore Mini in it, putting the tube in it, all that in the next 2 weeks. At 40, 50 bucks, CAD, a patch panel printing makes sense. Yeah, totally. I mean, as much as anything, that's kind of part of why I want to do it. Like those mini racks, those 10" racks, 8U 10" rack is $150. And I'm just like, that's so silly. I am absolutely going to print it for way less than that. It's going to be silly to print and take a bunch of time, but it's just going to cost me a couple bucks in filament, like $30 in filament, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I'll figure out the math of it once I do it. Got one of those in my Trident because of you. Awesome. That is the that's not the same one that I'm putting in my Trident. It is the Nevermore Mini, but it's the taller one. There's a remix version. It's taller, which uses more carbon. So, what are you printing? Projects in Dad's garage. 10-inch rack, a mini rack. One of boop. Let me pull it up. Yeah, pulling it up now. I'm not pulling up I'm pulling up the buyable version. So one of these 10-inch server racks. Little guys. But I'm going to design. There is, I think on printables, somebody has files to print one, a printable version. I'm going to design my own just because it's me. Hi, it's me. And I want to make sure I include like wall mounting and a few things that I'm looking for specific to it. But yeah, so I will have, hopefully in the next 2 weeks, some printable files for one. I need to get a bigger printer so I can print a patch panel for a 19-inch in a single print versus split. Yeah, I use my, I use either the X400, which the X400, it just fits at 45-degree angle, or the last time I printed parts for my server rack was on the Ratrig 500. So, yep. Okay, fan is in on the other side now. So I can put the blanking plate on the other side. Blanking plate on the other side. Need a normal size printable server rack. Yeah. I don't know. That's an awfully big project. An awfully big project. You do it in a lot of pieces or a very big printer. Do you like the top hat? Would you do it again? I don't love the top hat. Yet to be determined whether I would do it again. We'll see how I like it once the machine's running. I really wish it was one piece. I don't like how many pieces it is. What other options are there in 500 millimeters? Crap. Modix. Big Rep. I mean, some brands that are like way behind the times. Yeah, I'm going to discuss that in my video. That $150 Desk Pi 10-inch rack, part of why I feel like that's kind of outrageous is my 42U Dell server rack that you've seen in my videos a handful of times. I paid $150 for that. Gigastorm or the Phoenix. Phoenix isn't out yet. Orange Storm Giga is a meter, or is it 800? Is it 800 by 800? I think it's 800 by 800. But kind of crap. You know, unless you're going to do the Blue Storm Terra upgrade on it, it's kind of a waste. All right. Have you seen any Salad Fork 180 kits? I really want to build one. If I had, I would be building one right now. I really want to build one too. Fabrico has them coming. I've been told soon TM since October. No offense, Hector. I understand this is how things go. But yeah, they're soon. So, supposedly on the way. We shall see. Okay. Fans moved. Now I just got to check. I need to move that wire. That mount. I'm using this mount that was for the power supply, but it's no longer going to be for the power supply. I'm using it for a wire guide, and I want to keep that. I'm just gonna slide it away so it's out of the way for the new power supply, because I think the new power supply is definitely going to interfere with that. After building a Pandora, I don't think I'll do another 1515 machine. I can kind of understand that. I just really want to build a saddle fork. I haven't built one, just really want to. Want to play with it. You need a wall mount that's 16 or 24 inches tall. I am unaware of any full racks that are that tall. The big problem with those smaller racks is they're too shallow. If you're not putting a computer in it, you're only putting networking hardware in it, that's fine. But if you're putting a computer in it, it becomes a serious problem very fast. Yeah, I went through that. I used to have one of those wall mount enclosures, just networking stuff. Okay, you'll be fine then. I used to have one of those, and trying to put a NAS in it, I had to buy like a very specific case just to get it to fit, and I had to like move the ears on it. It was such a pain in my butt. It was not fun. All right, power supply time. Time to actually put this new power supply in here. We've got an open space in here. I really want to strip these wires out of here. It's making my skin crawl, but I'm not doing so at the moment. But I'm going to work on rewiring this off stream. It just takes way too long to like really precisely lay out wires. All right, power supply. Here's our freaking beast. I'm probably gonna have to move this cable guide. Looks like I need to get it. Ooh, I think that's gonna be in the way. Man, everything is gonna be in the way here. My SSR's got to move over. My wires have to move over. Oh, nope, that clears. Cool. Bam. There it frickin' is, taking up all of the space. Taking up all of the real estate. Let's switch to the other camera so you can maybe see a little more here. How much room this takes up. Mind you, this is a 300mm machine, but now so much real estate is this power supply, but it is like, I can see it right now. I can see where the mount for the panel is, the panel mount, and it's gonna fit. Let me measure my calipers. It fits, barely, but it fits. 3.7 millimeters. There's going to be a 3.7 millimeter gap from this to the panel. You know what? I'm just looking at that. Somebody just said, is it just me or is it squint? It's crooked because my DIN rail is crooked. How is my DIN rail crooked? It is leaning because my DIN rail is crooked for some reason. I don't know why. Pop it out of here. How does that even make sense? The holes are like in a fixed position. My DIN rail is crooked. Interesting. Let's loosen up the screws on that and move it. Where did I just have that M3? There we go. Yeah, my DIN rails are crooked. Or this one anyway, I mean. Oh, yeah, both of these screws are loose. Both my DIN rail screws are a little loose. Getting exercise in just because you can. Yeah, pretty much. All right. I moved this one over a little bit and the other one back a little bit. All right, let me check. You know what I'm going to do? I might. I don't know if I'm going to risk. No, I can do it. Must have been, when I removed the other, I probably shifted it. They were just loose enough that it did, which makes me want to Loctite those. I probably didn't Loctite those when I put this together the first time. And so I think I'm gonna see if I can safely do that quick. Yeah, there's no Loctite on this. No Loctite. Vibration of over 1,000 hours of printing. Probably loosened up just enough. Just enough. What is your most used printer, you would say? Currently, it is the Core 1. It was, before the Core 1, it was the Prusa Mark IV. And before the Prusa Mark IV, it was my Voron 2.4. Is that clicky-clack front skirt? Yes, I'm putting clicky-clack on here. Yes, this is a clicky-clack front skirt setup. Yeah, before, it was the Prusa Mark IV till I got the Core 1. Currently, it's the Core 1. And before the Mark IV, it was this machine. But since this machine's been down in need of a rebuild, it's been the Mark IV. All right. Cool, yeah. This thing just wants to slide down the DIN rail. See that? That's good to know because I'm going to do a side pack on the Trident and I'm going to use this power supply in the side pack. So I'm going to need to like run the DIN rails this way probably in the side pack. Or make a serious mount for this. Should have used ABS for the patch panel or should have used PETG. I would think PETG would be fine for a patch panel, but I don't think you needed to use ABS. I would mount it across 2 DIN rails. That is the ideal configuration, I would say. But for me, that would take up way too much space in here. You know, I could do that. DIN rail mount with a set screw would work, sure. It's what was loaded and being lazy. Eh. Does a side pack mod exist for the 2.4? Not that I'm aware of. There's the Doom Cube, which puts the electronics up top. And then you get 40/40 external extrusion, so you could put some insulation in it. But Jekyll, cat's screwing with things. I'm not aware of a side pack for it, but it might exist. All right. There's our power supply in there. This is going to be fun to wire up. All right. Now, my 110 volt can come this way to the switch. I'm gonna snip it back here so I've got plenty of extra to work with. So not the right thing to be cutting this with, but it's what I got. Oh, you know what? I don't feel like powering up the other one. We were gonna compare the fan sound. Let's do that with the, I'm just gonna grab the benchtop power supply. We'll do that with the benchtop power supply. All right, there's that. I'm gonna redo all of my mains wiring in here before too long, so put the SSD back in place. Bam. All right. She thick. Yeah, she is thick. You are right. She thick. Okay. Oh, it's going to be a tight fit in here. I want to put a USB hub in here yet. I was hoping to put the USB hub where the power supply was for the 5 volt, but I didn't gain that room back much. So I think I'm going to end up mounting the USB hub like this or something. I don't know. I might have to side mount it in here. Yeah, if I do that, I can get to the USB ports over top of the SSR. Not ideal, but it'll work. Not ideal, but it will work. Wow, these connections were loose too. My SSR connections. That's not important. It's the control side, not the 110 volt side, but still. All right. A lot to think about here. It's a beast. I got to find a home for this now, for the USB hub in here. But that's all on the to-do list. All on the to-do list. But I'm intending to just take this, comes with a wall wart 5-volt power supply. But I'm just going to cut this cable off and then run the wires from the barrel jack to the 5-volt output on this beast for the USB hub and for the Pi. So, in fact, the Pi is now much closer to the power supply, so I can very easily do that. Does the side pack make it wider or go in dead space? It makes it wider. Side pack makes it wider. Okay. I don't know that we're going to get any further on this right now. We got the power supply in there. I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to do a video on this power supply, like setting it up, because I don't want people to have to go through a stream to find the intricacies of how to wire this thing. So yeah. But let me pull up a side pack real quick. Here. It's basically an extension of extrusions off of the side of the machine. So it extends the entire machine sideways. Kenneth, hello, welcome in. Yeah, so there you go. But like folks said, I'm probably going to have to run... Mine's not going to be anything like this. It's going to be entirely different because mine's going to be a Doom Cube Trident. But the concept is the same. Extrusion sticking off the side. It's just going to be sticking off the side of a Doom Cube instead of this. I'm going to have to make my own custom side pack for it. Yep. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm going to get this machine off the bench. So I think that's probably all the further we're going to get on this stream, unfortunately, because I've got to dive into wiring now. And I just don't want to do wiring on stream. But I will cover it in a video. So I will be getting the information out there very, very, very soon. Vertical screen is an amazing look. Yeah, I'm planning to do that too. I've got a wave share screen that I want to run. One of the wave share like 7-inch screens. So I'm planning to run this on the side pack vertically and with the Pi mounted on the back like it already is. This is what I'm intending to do. Hopefully it works because I've never gotten the vertical screen to work properly on my Mercury 1, but hopefully this one will work out. So yeah, that's my intention. I've had this kicking around for ages. I currently just have like Debian Linux set up on it. And I use this for the longest time. I use this as a live stream subscriber counter on TikTok. Looks aside, what's the benefit of vertical screen? Nothing. Just looks different. Not a darn thing. Not a darn thing. Okay, I'm going to get this off the bench, and then we will check out the fans. Because I do want to show how loud the fans that come in that power supply are. I threw it out, so I got to dig it out of the trash. Or did I miss the trash can? No. I got to dig it out. I'm stupid. I threw it in the trash. Nope. That's another fan. I think I threw it in the trash. Here's the one that I'm putting in this. And let me grab a flashlight. Where did I put that fan? I swore I threw it in here. But I think I missed. I missed. It was next to the trash can. All right. It was next to the trash can. All right, let me get the wire stripped back. If I could power this thing up. I just want to show you folks how loud the fan that comes on it is, and I want to hear it for myself. I haven't actually heard it. Noise test, yes, Josh. Instead of powering up one of the other power supplies, I'm just going to power up the fan. All right, where's bench power supply? I need to build an electronics workbench. I've been meaning to do it for ages. It's going to happen. I think what I'm going to end up doing is where those printers are right now, I'm going to build a workbench all across that wall. And that's going to be the electronics workbench where like the soldering iron, power supply, hot air station, all that's going to live. And then I'm going to set up like webcams dedicated to that space. So when we're streaming, I can just like switch a scene and go over there and like ramp up voltage so the magic smoke lets out. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. We could do that. I don't care about it. I don't care about it. Where's the... Here, I'll take the one from my soldering iron. Hello, Cebus. Welcome in. All right. I think this is set to 24 volts at the moment, so let me dial that down. All right, 12 volts. Currently set to 12 volts. Microphone is on my chest here. So it's a good 1.5 feet, 2 feet away from the fan. And powering up. Can you hear that? Oh, you know what? I've got a noise gate on. Let me change my filters. I had to delete this filter quick. Silence the music. Honestly, it's not as bad as I expected. All right. I'm going to put, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the microphone on this 1, 2, 3 block. Sorry for the noise. That's not doing it justice. Yeah, I think part of the factor about this is there we go. If I make it blow through the 1, 2, 3 block, because of the restriction that it's blowing through the power supply, we don't have that here for this test. So that's definitely more annoying. And put something next to it. That's better. I'm going to throw more voltage at it. It's at 12 volts right now. Let me switch to the OBSBot camera so you get maybe a closer view of it. So if it goes pop. And 16 volts. $18.6 volts. 21 volts. Oh, it's slowing down. It's done. Magic smoke. Oh. It came back at 20 volts. Anything over 21 volts. 20. Anything over 20 volts. How many amps is it hitting? 0.45. It's only hitting 0.45 amps. Let's see if I can get this in the background. Yeah, if I cross like 20.5, it's 10 watts though, yeah. Anything at like 20.5. I mean, increase in airspeed. What you're not seeing, let me turn that down. As far as the increase in airspeed is concerned, I mean, I can definitely feel a difference, but also it pushed away from the 1, 2, 3 block. It actually pushed this entire container here across the bench a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. All right, I'm gonna shut this down and we're gonna listen to the other fan, the fan that I put in there. In the video, I'll actually power up one of the power supplies with that in there so you can hear it a little bit better. All right, same test case against the 1, 2, 3 block, against this. I forget what voltage it was at. We're going to find out real quick, see if I smoke this. We're at 10 volts. They are 12-volt fans. That is on right now. Okay. That's a massive difference. I was like, I don't know if it's such a big deal that I like changed out the fan. No, it's a big deal. And this fan, the CUI fan that I got, lay the 1, 2, 3 block down to not impede airflow. Now it's fucking silent. There's an ever so slight hum to it with it when it's not impeded. Send the link to the fan, probably cheaper than a Noctua. Yeah, and it also has, I'll drop it in the chat. It's DigiKey, so it's not an affiliate link. I don't have an affiliate account with DigiKey. And then you got to pay shipping with DigiKey, which sucks. But I usually just order like a handful of things I need from them at any given time. And I really like these fans. This is the 12-volt version of this same fan. This exact same fan comes in 24-volt, and it's just as quiet. Dropping in chat. Yeah, the same fan comes in 24-volt, $9.23. The same fan comes in 24-volt, and it's what I have for chamber fans on the Trident. And I've been very tempted to change out the fans on my 2.4 with them because I think they're quieter than Noctuas. And what's it rated at? 16 CFM, which I think the Noctuas are only like 14 CFM. They don't list CFM, like, you know, it's weird. And 0.1 static pressure. So not the highest static pressure by any means. But yeah. So. All right. I think that's going to be it for today, folks. First stream back. I got to go pick up Selena from work shortly here. And I don't want to get too buried in the wiring. How many are you putting in the 2.4? Just none. I'm going to leave the Noctuas in the 2.4. I'm just not going to bother. Yeah, I put the one of these in the power supply That's enough. All right. But I do believe that's where we're going to wrap it up for this one. Yeah. The Trident, or no, Trident. The Trident is printing away back there. Crap, I missed the stream. Have a great night. Well, thanks for coming in anyway, Kegel. I will have a video on this topic in hopefully the very near future. I'm hoping the Trident. Thanks for making me spend money on a PSU. Sorry. Thank you for using the link, I assume. It wishes it was a Trident, yeah. So I need to get my Trident done. I think we're going to move on to the VZBot next. I said that already. If anybody didn't hear me, I think Sunday morning we're going to start the VZBot build. Like, I really need to start another project right now, but I want to like bang it out. I want to get the VZBot done quick. So we might marathon the VZBot. Who knows? It might be all day Sunday or something. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah. All right, folks, I will update the description in this as soon as we end the stream with the link to the information on the Armchair Engineering Discord about this power supply that I've got in here to help anybody who might pick one up. But I'm also going to be doing a video. So hopefully before you folks even get yours, if you ordered them today, hopefully it came pretty quick. I got mine in like 3 or 4 days. I think they shipped in like Michigan or Ohio, something like that. Yeah, so hopefully I should have a video soon. TM. A new video tomorrow on Mandic Really, talking about and showing off Ruby's tattoo studio. I've got to go work on that video now. I need to get that done tonight. So I have to head over there and film a little bit more too. So that is going to be my evening. I hope everybody has a lovely, wonderful day. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thanks for coming around. Nori Noodle, come here. Let's say goodbye to everybody. Oh, come say goodbye. Come say goodbye. Let me put on animal tracking. Oh, there we go. All right, folks. Thanks for coming around. I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye. Say bye-bye, Nori. Say bye-bye. Say goodbye.